Well, this just in, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi pushing back against some of her Democratic colleagues who say it is time for the California lawmaker to step aside from the leadership as the party looks to retake the House in November. Pelosi telling the Boston Globe, and I'm quoting, "We will win. I will run for Speaker. I feel confident about it, and my members do too. It's important that it not be 5 white guys at the table. No offense, I have no intention of walking away from that table." Let's bring in our panel. Jessica Tarlov is Senior Director of Research at Bustle.com, a Fox News contributor and author of America in the Age of Trump. Alexandra Smith is the Executive Director of the America Rising PAC and former National Chairman of the College Republican National Committee. Ladies, thank you very much for talking to us. Okay, Jessica, you know, if the Democrats need to do anything at all, it is bring in new blood. Because if you look at a coach on a football team and they lose every single year and they never make it to the Super Bowl, you get rid of the coach. Why doesn't she step aside? I mean, is it not selfish of her to do that? Because is she not causing more damage to her own party?
Nancy Pelosi has made it clear that if Hillary Clinton had won, that she would have stepped aside then. What's going on now, and she's looking back on a big career where she has raised tons of money, where she helped get Obamacare passed, which is the signature achievement of the Obama years. Right. And she sees a lot of progress that has been made under her leadership and feels like she's a strong hand with a lot of experience to take people forward. So I think that's the perspective that she's coming from. She does have a lot of support, certainly from the moderate centrist bloc there, people who have been around for a while, her and Steny Hoyer, for instance. But when you consider what happened with Tim Ryan's challenge to her, the Ohio congressman, who is white, a white guy, but working class, Ohio, Rust Belt, things, you know, states that we need to reclaim if we're going to be successful, you can see this real division there. And I think that she will have a much tougher challenge on her hands than she expects. But I do think she would pull it out in the end.
So she basically sees herself as the, you know, she is the most senior female role as a Democrat. And like you mentioned, you know, if Hillary Clinton had been voted in, then she would have gone out. I personally don't see that Nancy Pelosi is ever going to go out. I don't care if it's a female president or not. I mean, she is very much in control and loves that control. But she is losing control of the Democratic Party. That's the problem.
Look, I think a lot of Republicans woke up this morning, saw that headline, and they checked the calendar to make sure that it didn't say December 25th. This is Christmas come early for Republicans, because they're looking at this announcement and they're going to look at every targeted race in the country and make candidates take a position on Nancy Pelosi. Look at Brad Ashford in Nebraska. Look at Ann Kirkpatrick in Arizona. These are people who supported Pelosi in the past, and now that they're running again in competitive districts, they're hedging and they're saying, I don't really know. And they're going to be forced to take a position based on this announcement.
Well, it never looks good when members of your own party want you out. I mean, you were saying that, you know, she has a lot of support, but she also has a lot of those in her own party that don't want her there. So if people in your own party want you out, you need to start to listen. I almost feel that, again, I go back to the selfish part, because she wants to be at the top. There are other Democratic women, are there not?
Oh, there are tons.
That are in power. There are plenty. So why is it that she doesn't decide to, you know, for the good of the party, to make some changes come before the midterms?
I expect that she will be considering that, and especially looking at Paul Ryan making an exit now, there will be a vacuum. We're going to need a new leader on the Republican side there. But I would point out that this is an issue with leadership across the board. It's not like Mitch McConnell is popular. It's not like Chuck Schumer is popular, Pelosi or Paul Ryan. This is one of those thankless jobs, I think. And when you look at how divided each of the parties are, you know, on the Republican side, when you have Freedom Caucus, you have more mainstream Republicans, and then you have Trump Republicans, finding one person to unite everyone is an incredibly difficult task. I don't disagree with you personally. I think we're getting a lot of exciting new candidates. Take Conor Lamb, for instance, who actually went against Nancy Pelosi when he won in Pennsylvania. That is the future of the party. What?
You don't agree?
Well, but he did say that he didn't support her.
Yes, but there aren't too many Democrats that can run in districts where they fire off semi-automatic rifles in their first advertisement. I mean, that was a very conservative district where it was acceptable to say that you were against Nancy Pelosi. The Democrats' path to majority runs through districts, though, that are different than the PA 18th. They're not as conservative.
But there are a lot of, if we're going to take back districts that have broken for Republicans, we've lost 1,000 seats in the last 8-9 years. I think
that was under Nancy Pelosi's leadership.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you there. I'm saying there are a lot more centrist Democrats and moderates that are going to be popping up to take back districts that we have lost.
And Democrats have lost their edge, though. I mean, they were 12.
Well, we're doing very well in special elections.
Well, they're still ahead, but what I'm saying is that they have lost their edge. They were further ahead. If you look back to December December and January. They were some 12 percentage points ahead, according to the latest ABC poll.
It got up to 15 from the Coke Political report, and then it went down to 4, and I think it's at 8 now. But the special elections have been very kind to us. In Arizona, for instance, we lost by 6. That was a Trump district by 20.
It just speaks volumes about the leadership, which is why Paul Ryan decided, it's time. But anyway, Jessica, Alexandra, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Julie.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it. John?